Hello students, today we are going to discuss the calculation of pH value of salts. We know salt is the combination, it is the compound produced by the neutralization reaction of acids and bases. The nature of salt depends upon the nature of acids and bases combined. Salt may be acidic, salt may be neutral, salt may be basic. It depends upon the nature of acids and base added. Salt is produced, one kind of salt is produced from weak acids, weak base, let it be weak base and strong acids. It may be produced weak acid and strong base. Weak base and strong acids, weak acids and strong base, and it may produce weak acids and weak base. It may produce strong acids and strong base. So these are the combination of acids and base forming the salts. When the salt is produced weak base and strong acid, the nature of salt is acidic. The pH value will be less than 7. It produced from strong base, weak acid, the pH value greater than 7. From weak acid and weak base, it depends upon the dissociation value. And strong acid, strong base, generally neutral. You can say last one, strong acid, strong base, having same molar concentration. The result will be what? That is neutral. So it depends upon the nature of acid and base, the nature of salt is produced. So now we will calculate the pH value of particular salt in terms of their dissociation constant. Okay, first let's take that weak acid and strong base. Salt of weak acid and strong base. If pH value calculation will be understood clearly, then you can same way you can calculate the pH value of other salts. So salts of weak acids and strong. Let the salt is BA. It is a salt produced from weak acid and strong base. When it dissociates in hydrolyzed in water, you know when salt hydrolyzes, it will produce base here. As it is a strong base, that is we can write that is BOH, and here acid is HA. This is your base, this is your acid. But if you write the ion equation, when salt is dissociated, salt produces Ba plus and A minus in presence of water on dissociation, on hydrolysis, produce as it is a salt of weak acid and strong base. Base is strong means it will produce B plus and OH minus, and as acid is weak, it cannot be dissociated completely, so undissociated acid remain. So this is very important technique. Which one? When the salt hydrolyzes, produce, if the base is strong, produce B plus and OH minus. If acid is weak, then remains as undissociated from HA. So here B plus cancelled. So what is the result? Result is A minus plus water produces that OH minus plus HA. So this is the ionic equation of a salt of weak acid and strong base. This derivation. Okay, if this is the hydrolysis equation of this salt of weak acid and strong base, from this equation we got it. So what is the dissociation constant, hydrolysis constant, that is called Kh. Hydrolysis, when the salt is hydrolyzed, produce base and acid. So this constant is called hydrolysis constant. Kh is equal to OH minus concentration, molar concentration, into HA concentration upon A minus. Here water is taken as constant. So this is called, this equation, this is, suppose it is equation 1, this expression is hydrolysis constant of the salt of weak acid and strong base. But we know what the acid is weakly dissociated, acid. So K, that you can write this one in this way, that HA weak acid when dissociates produce H plus and A minus, and the value of Ka is equal to H plus concentration into A minus concentration upon HA. This expression already we have discussed in the previous class. So K is equal to H plus into A minus upon HA. This equation, let it be equation 2. Okay? Then we know that the Kw for any solution, maybe acidic or basic like this, but Kw value is equal to always H plus concentration into OH minus concentration. Let it be equation 3. So 3 equation we got it. But you see A minus, if you see like this, here we can do relation between this. Suppose this is equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. Then equation 3 divided on equation 2. Equation 2, what you will get? That is Kw H plus ion into OH minus ion upon, what is this? H plus ion into how much? A minus ion upon HA concentration. Okay, if you arrange this, now this result is equation 3 is Kw, this is your Kw upon equation 2 is Ka. This equal to this much. Again, this value equal to then HA will be numerator, H plus cancel. What is that? OH minus concentration into HA concentration upon A minus left. This is your Kw upon Ka, forming OH minus HA by, and this equal to, already we have calculated equation 1, that OH minus HA by A minus is Kh, that is your hydrolysis constant. So that is now one formula we got. Kh is equal to hydrolysis constant of the salt having weak acid and strong base. Kh is equal to Kw by Ka. This formula you have to remember. Okay, this every formula is very important for your competitive examination, so you have to remember this thing. Then we know, if you see this formula, that salt hydrolysis A minus in presence of water convert to AH plus OH minus. If initial concentration of salt is C moles per liter, then it will be 0, But at the equilibrium, if C changes to C minus C alpha, what is C alpha? This much of concentration is consumed. How much left? C minus C alpha. Then how much produce? C alpha, that is also C alpha. This is the produce as the product. The acid concentration produced after the dissociation, after hydrolysis of salt is C alpha, and the base OH minus is produced C alpha. So this is your equal C minus C alpha is equal to C alpha into C alpha. Okay. Then if you use this equation, your KH is equal to, already you have read, KH is equal to OH minus concentration HA by A minus OH minus is C alpha. C alpha into C alpha upon A minus is C minus C alpha. C minus C alpha, which is equal to C square, C, that means C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. If alpha is very small, when alpha will be very small compared to 1, the alpha is a degree of dissociation, then the value of KH, is equal to C alpha square. C alpha implies that alpha is equal to KH upon C square root. This is the what? Derivation of degree of dissociation of a salt of weak acid and strong base is equal to KH upon C. So alpha is equal to KH upon C. Now you see the formula that already you know to calculate the pH value. Here the equation only OH minus is available, no H plus directly given. Because you see the salt on hydrolysis produce undissociated, that H produce the acid and OH minus. So the OH minus concentration, is equal to C alpha. As per the equation, OH minus is equal to C alpha. C alpha, what is this? C is already alpha took the value. So C into alpha is equal, as per the equation, is equal to KH upon C square root. If C will be inside, then C into KH square root, C into K square root, as so OH minus concentration is equal to C into KH concentration. If you put the value of KH in the form of KWKA, if you put this, now C into KH value is KW by K, KW by K square root. Okay. Now OH minus concentration this much, but to calculate the value of pH value, we have to, what you have to, you just think, how can you calculate the value of H plus ion? But we know OH minus concentration into H plus concentration is equal to KW. Already we have read this one. So H plus ion concentration will be KW by OH minus concentration. So we can put this value here. So KW remain as such. OH minus as per this is C, then KW upon KA square root. This is the value of what? OH minus concentration. We have put this OH minus in the form of KW, this one. Then H plus concentration is equal to KW. You see KW, that KW in the numerator, then it will be what happens here, Ka, that will be, so Ka, it will be Ka, then what is left? If you see that Kw, just one thing you can do it here. What is the result? What is the result here? If the value of H plus ion concentration here is Kw, can written as Kw square root into Kw square root. Kw can written as multiply Kw capital upon here C square root of C into, we can write like this. Here it will be, okay, here that Kw into Kw, then square root of C, then square root of Kw upon, what is that? Ka. that is square root of Ka. Here what happens? One value is cancelled. And what is left? Now, if you see this one, so it will be, this value will be K will be numerator. Then what is the left? Your Kw, just which is Kw square root. Okay. Then your K square root of Ka, then upon square root of C. If you calculate this, it is the result. So now this will be, so minus, if you multiply minus h plus concentration log, if you multiply log minus log in everywhere, the result will be minus log, then Kw square root into square root of Ka upon square root of C. Then if you see this one, then here both having square root, so minus log that Kw into K upon C half. Okay, then you can write in this way that minus log H plus is equal to pH. So minus log H plus is equal to pH. So now pH is equal to minus log, okay, you can bring, okay, you can keep it like this. So let power half will be left side, so it will be half here, half of this, half of minus log Kw, then minus log K, okay, then minus, this your denominator means it will become plus log C, because denominator 1 by C for means minus means it will be numerator become plus, so minus, then pH is equal to half remain, then minus log Kw is equal to 14, because Kw will be 10 to the power minus 14 means minus log is 14. This minus log K is equal to, that is equal to how much? Pk, that is Pk plus log C. Okay, then if you take if you multiply half, then pH is equal to half will be you can write like this. pH is equal to, if you take half inside, then 7 plus, then half Pk. This is your Pka, because minus log of K is equal to Pk plus log C. So this is the derivation of pH calculation of what? A salt of weak acid and strong base. A strong base pH value will be 7 plus means greater than 7. You have to remember this calculation, that the value of pH calculation for the salt of weak acid and strong base. pH is equal to 7 plus half pKa plus log C. Okay. Similarly, you write down please. Then similarly we can calculate the pH value of salt of weak base and strong bases. Okay, you write down. We will remove this one. Now we will discuss that pH value of pH calculation of salt of weak base and strong acid. That salt of weak base and strong acid. Okay, then let the salt is Va on hydrolysis produce, base is BOH and acid is Ha. Where it dissociates is produce opposite charge ions in water, produce weak base. So so it will remain on dissociated forms, and the strong acid it gets dissociated. So here A minus cancelled, and what is left? Here B plus in presence of water produce BOH and H plus. Okay, this is the final equation of salt of weak base BOH and strong acid, that's why H plus. It depends upon if H plus is more, so the pH value will be less than 7 because it is the strong acid and weak base. So we will calculate now, we will prove it. So what is the dissociation constant, hydrolysis constant? KH will be BOH concentration into H plus ion concentration upon B plus. Okay, this is the expression, this is equation 1. And we know Kw, already know H plus into OH minus. This is let to be equation 2. Then as the base is weak, so BOH on dissociates produce B plus and OH minus. So Kb, dissociation constant will be Kb is equal to B plus concentration, OH minus concentration upon BOH. Always product concentration bar reactant concentration. This is the expression of equilibrium constant. Kb is equal to B plus OH minus upon BOH. This is the expression of Kb. This is equation 3. So if you calculate now that Kh, if you divide, you will get, remember, Kh is equal to Kw by Kb. If you take this 3 equation 1, 2, 3, you will get Kh is equal to Kw by Kb. Then this, then already you know the formula. If B plus B plus OH minus BOH H plus, if you use the degree of dissociation, that equation can be written as concentration of BOH, that is your C alpha, into H plus, that is also C alpha, already we have discussed, and B plus reactant side means it will be C minus C alpha, that is C alpha squared by 1 minus alpha. When alpha will be very small, then alpha will be very small, the equation can be written as C alpha square, implies alpha is equal to, similar like previous, Kh by how much? Alpha is equal to Kh by C square. This is the alpha calculation like your previous derivation, alpha is equal to Kh by C. Then if you put this value, here one important thing is here that the equation shows that H plus already present in the formula. So H plus ion concentration is equal to C alpha. As per the equation, just you see C minus C alpha, C alpha, C alpha, H plus is equal to C alpha. You put this value in alpha region C into, what is the value of alpha? Here alpha is equal to how much? Alpha is Kh by C. Alpha is equal to Kh by C square root, which is equal to, if you bring then Kh into C square root. Okay, but what is the value of Kh as per the equation? Kh is equal to Kw by Kb, that is equal to Kw by Kb into C square. So this is your H plus alpha. If you multiply minus log to calculate pH value is equal to minus log Kw by Kb into C square root. Then minus log H plus is equal to pH, which is equal to, if you take as square root, then half will bring outside, then half, then minus log Kw, then your, here what happens, it is your kb, kw, kb into c, then it will be how much, here minus log kw, here it will be plus how much, log kb, then minus log c, okay, minus log c. Then here you see what the result. Now pH is equal to that, if that will be half, then it will be minus log kw is equal to, the result is 14, that is 14, then plus log kb, then minus log c. Then if you take that, will if you multiply half inside, that is 7, then plus half of that log kb minus log c, then 7, if you convert it, if you write minus here, 7 minus half, then it will be minus log kb plus log c. Then because why we are converting convert minus log, because minus log kb equal to pkb, that's why plus is convert to minus, then that's a plus sign, it changes to minus sign, then 7 minus half of, what is this is called pkb plus log c. So this is that calculation of pH of the what, salt of weak base and strong acid. As the acid is strong, so pH will be less than 7 minus this one. So this is very important calculation for the pH value of this. If both are weak, here directly we can do it. Third concept, salt of that both weak acids and base. When both are weak, then if you calculate this one, let me solve it like this: B plus A minus plus water convert to BOH plus HA. Because both are weak, this equation will remain. So your KH dissociation constant will be concentration of base into concentration of HA upon B plus into A minus. This is the KH value. But if you take this, already know Ka is equal to how much? K is equal to H plus concentration into A minus concentration upon HA, and Kb is equal to your B plus concentration into OH minus concentration in BOH. If you derive this one, result will be KH and is equal to KW by K into KB. Because here remember, because we know that KW is equal to H plus into OH minus. If you take this equation 1, 2, 3, you will get KH is equal to KW by K into KB. So when both are weak, if one is weak, KW by K or KW by KB. If both are weak, then KW by KB. And KH, same calculation, KH is equal to that C. Here what happens? K, if you do this thing, if calculate this one, KH, this one, C alpha square, C alpha into C alpha, C alpha into C alpha upon here B plus A minus, that is C minus C alpha into C minus C alpha. If you go to put, the result will be that how much? C will be cancelled, C square will be cancelled, C into C square, C square. Then what is left? Alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. If alpha square by 1 minus alpha, when alpha is very small, then KH is equal to alpha square implies alpha is equal to kh square root. This is for the derivation of weak acid and weak base. Alpha is equal to square root of kh. If alpha is equal to square root of kh, then what is the value of H plus concentration? What will be the value of H plus concentration? H plus concentration will be how much? If you see it, we know that the Ka, calculation of K is equal to H plus concentration into that HA into A minus concentration upon HA implies what is the value of H plus? Now H plus is equal to Ka into HA concentration upon A minus concentration. Okay, if you put this now, that H plus, now H plus concentration is equal to, if you put the value of that C alpha, if you put this C, that what is the result? It will be Ka into, that will be HA is equal to how much? HA is equal to your 1 minus alpha upon alpha. Okay, K is equal to how much? 1 minus, so this will be K into C alpha. Here it will equal to C alpha, that HA, that is alpha upon 1 minus alpha. Okay, when alpha is very small, that will be alpha into Ka. Okay, so H plus concentration, now H plus concentration is equal to that how much? Alpha, what is the value of alpha? Alpha is equal to Kh, alpha is equal to Kh square root of Kh into Ka. This H plus and concentration. When you put this value, already you know Kh value square root of Kw upon Ka into Kb into Ka. Then result H plus concentration will be how much? That result will be Kw upon Ka into Kb square root. Okay, then if H plus is equal to Kw by K into Kb, then minus log H plus is equal to minus, if you take half, direct I am doing, then minus log Kw, then it will be how much? K plus log Kw, that will be log Ka plus log Kb. Okay, plus log A plus log Kb. Then what is the result? How much result is coming? Okay, this result, just to change it, it will be square root of here K upon, just to check it, this one. H plus will be Kw, here it will go inside, means it will be Kw into K square. So K square K means K, Kw K by Kb. So it will be minus log this one, then minus log, this will be minus log K plus log Kb. So now pH is equal to, you take that will be half of 14 minus Pk minus log Kb plus log K minus log K into Kb. Okay, so this result, if you take it, pH is equal to, your pH is equal to how much? If you take 7, then plus, then if you take half of, if you take this, it would pKa minus pKb. So this is the what? Derivation of calculation of pH value of salt of weak acid and weak base. So pH is equal to 7 plus half pK minus pKb. When both are strong, just one thing last part, when both are strong, pK is equal to pKb, so result will be 7. When both strong, pH will be 7. Because pKa is equal to pKb for strong acid. When both are strong acid, pK and pKb will be same. That's why the result will be this right side part will be 0. Then pH will be 7 for strong acid, strong base. That's why for strong acid, strong salt of strong acid, strong base, the pH calculation is not required. Only 3 calculations required. One is weak acid, strong base. Another is weak base and strong acids. And when both are weak. So for both weak, pH is equal to 7 plus half of pK minus pKb. Okay. This is very important calculation. So you practice it. Any doubt you have, you can ask me. So in this way, practice the numerical calculation and the derivation is very important. That relation between KH for weak acid and weak base, KH value of that weak acid and strong base, and weak base and strong acids. Then you can know what is the relation between the pH value of the acids with pK and pKb. Okay, thank you all.